Welcome everyone to another session of the impact of artificial intelligence, hosted by Religious for Peace UK. Tonight's session is called How We Use Artificial Intelligence, and for this we are delighted to be joined again by Dr. Elizabeth Milovidov. So she will be leading us through the session, exploring how artificial intelligence is integrated in our daily lives. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being here with us again. I'll hand it over to you, and then we can get started, and you can give us some light in this very fascinating topic.
Yes, thank you so much, Evine, and thank you everyone for joining. I know that it's not always easy to get away from work and family and our nighttime duties, so I really appreciate you being here with us. Just if you have any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. Both Evine and I are watching, so we will see them and we will try to answer your questions. This is a really informal session. And the whole idea is just for me to tell you about AI so that way you can get very comfortable with it. And there you go. I am just going to ask one question before we get started, and that is there anybody who had been with us for the first series, for what the webinar, the first webinar? So that way I know I'm going to repeat myself, but just a little bit. Oh yeah, okay, great. And so, without further ado, I will get started and just let you know a little bit about who I am. So, I'm a lawyer from California, and I'm talking to you right now from London. I see that some of you are from other places. I've seen Germany and the US and Ireland. And I think I even saw the Netherlands and the UK. So, welcome. International group, inclusive group, diverse group. That is Religions for Peace UK. Um, Let's see, what else can I tell you? Really, what I've been doing is online safety and really trying to take care of children and parents. That is where my heart is. And of course, there are so many issues that come up that cross over into this world of technology, things like artificial intelligence. Of course, it has impacts for children, but for me, it's just interesting to know so that way I can share what I know with you. And so I will be giving you pretty much a global, a very general overview. Again, but just know that usually I'm speaking to parents and kids. What else can I say? I spent 30 years in France before moving to London. I've been here in London now 3.5 years. My day job, I was working at the Lego Group. So I was a lawyer for them, uh, doing things like games and metaverse. So again, everything that has to do with internet and technology. And on the side, I was always doing my digital parenting, child online protection, which is how I met Evine and her team. And I've stayed with them ever since. So now you know who I am, you know what I do, you know what my passion is. I know where some of you are from. If you feel comfortable, you can let me know if you know things about AI, if you like AI, if you use AI, that'd be really cool. And if not, if you don't want to chat, that's okay too. Like I said, and if you're busy making dinner, I get it. So let me share my screen. We're going to be talking about how do we actually use artificial intelligence. And this whole idea, we're just going to be looking at how it is integrated into our personal lives. And actually, it said family lives and work and industry, but it got cut off. So that's where we're going to be going today. But before we do that, I'm going to do a really quick recap of what we did, of just a few of the points from last week, because I know that some of you were not there. So, we really did this definition of artificial intelligence, where we said, that this is a multidisciplinary field. And the whole idea is that it aims to, I'm just letting people in, that it aims to create systems that are capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. So this whole idea is that we're using computer systems to perform tasks that normally it's people, human intelligence that is doing this. So at its core, AI, it involves creating algorithms and models and things that can analyze data really quickly, and then it can identify patterns. So it's always been answered this way the past 10 times, so then it should be answered this way the 11th time, right? And so then AI will then make decisions based on that analysis. So really a simple definition is that AI is it can be defined as the capability of a machine to imitate intelligent human behavior. That's it. Just keep that in mind. And like I said, we went into a lot more detail last time. We're not going to do that. I'm just going to skim you through. We also talked about the brief history and the evolution of AI, and we just talked about how it dates back to the mid 20th century with early research in computing. And then that led to the development of the Alan Turing test and the advent of machine learning. And it leads us all the way up to the present day. Something else that was really important was understanding the difference between narrow AI, which is weak AI, and this is an AI that's just really designed to perform specific tasks, things like voice recognition or image classification. And then on the flip side of that, we have general AI or strong AI, which aims to understand and aims to reason across a whole bunch of tasks. And it kind of looks like human cognitive abilities. But most importantly, and most for what we're going to be talking about, most AI applications are narrow AI or weak AI. Okay, so why are we here now? We're here because understanding how AI is incorporated into our daily lives it's crucial for us. How is it crucial? Well, it's crucial in really six very important ways that I want to make sure that you understand. Of course, we're going to talk about different types of AI, but I always find it easier to really understand the importance of something that's technical or that has internet or other applications if we realize how it is actually affecting us as people. And so that's why I wanted to just take a step back and make sure that we understand how this is affecting us. So, the first way is with some of our informed decision making. So, the way that we are thinking, the way that we actually decide things, that is AI, that it's shaping the content and it's shaping everything from the content that we see online to actually the job offers that we receive. I know that earlier I was using ChatGPT to help me brainstorm on some ideas. I mean, it can help you make a decision, and knowing how it works, it can help you choose. The correct tools. You can decide if you want to use, if we're just talking about strict artificial intelligence, you can decide if you want to use ChatGPT or if you want to use Google Gemini or if you want to use Perplexity. Something that is absolutely amazing is that my own son, who's 18, he's been teaching me ways that he uses ChatGPT and AI to up level his game, to really up his skill set. So things like understanding prompts and prompt engineering, because it's never the platform, it is the prompt. It's the question that you ask. So for example, let's see if I can make it a really simple example. Let's say that we are going to bake a chocolate cake. Okay. And we have sat here and said, we're going to ask ChatGPT, give me a recipe for a really delicious chocolate cake. Of course, ChatGPT and actually even just Google.com could spit out a recipe and there you go. But if we want to go next level, and this is why it's important to understand how AI works and how we use it. So if you want to go next level, then you would go to, for example, Google Gemini, and you would create a prompt that says something like this. You are a bakery chef and you have served royalty for the past 20 years. Royalty has always adored your chocolate cake. They have asked for the recipe every single time. It has been passed on to other international countries because it has been considered a gift to be shared for everyone. Okay. And then you say, please write me a prompt that will help me understand the recipe and the ingredients and where to get the best ingredients to make that chocolate cake that royalty loves, right? So then Google Gemini is going to give you the prompt. Then you're going to take that prompt, just cut and paste, and go back to ChatGPT and give it the prompt. Instead of just saying, give me a good chocolate cake, you're going to put in that prompt and you will get something that will blow your mind with the detail, with the quality of ingredients, that will be the ultimate chocolate cake. This is where artificial intelligence is going. This is why we need to understand how we use it in our daily lives. We need to understand it for ourselves. We need to understand it in our work environments. We need to understand it for our children and young people as they grow up and use these things and how they can use it better. So, as I was saying, understanding it, it will help you choose those tools and those platforms that are going to align with your values. Let's face it, not all the platforms are going to be as wonderful and as inclusive as, let's say, this platform is, right? And let's say we're here on Zoom and, it's letting us all in, but there's other platforms for whatever reason that have different prompts, different AI, and they're going to be very restrictive. We need to always understand how our data is being collected. Um, Even right now, we have your name that's here. We're not using your data for anything afterwards. But sometimes if you enter and you use your email, you can be sure that your email might be used later for marketing or publicity. So it's understanding all of these things helps you to make informed decisions about your privacy and your digital habits when you're online in general, and especially when you're using artificial intelligence. Okay, so again, something that's close to my heart and just a reason why I think understanding the implications of AI, understanding how we use AI, it is so important as we guide and protect children. And why? Why? And it's because kids are now interacting with AI, at just such a young age because it's everywhere. It is, we see it through some of the smart toys that they're using. We see it in the educational apps that children are playing with. You can see it in the YouTube recommendations. YouTube recommendations themselves are what? It's an algorithm. It's AI, right? So parents then and caregivers who understand AI and who understand how these algorithms work and how they are pushing content to our children. And actually, when I'm saying children, let's talk about young people as well. Let's talk about you as adults. If you're looking at your Instagram feed or if you're looking at TikTok, you need to understand how the algorithm is working for you, how it is um, curating your feed and sending you things to watch, sending you things to see. So again, that takes us back to that informed decision making of understanding your privacy, your data, because let's say that I live in a country where looking up magic is illegal, right? It's really frowned upon if you like Harry Potter, right? And so I live in this country and I am going on TikTok and I'm watching magic videos, right? So then imagine it's going to keep sending me more and more of this illegal content, these magic videos. So this is why algorithms can be dangerous and they can cause trouble on social media. They can send you down literally a black hole. They can send you to places that you as an adult do not want to see and to children. And I think because this is Religions for Peace, and because I think that we all are having some aspect of religion or spirituality, I mean, this is also things that can send you into content that is really against your own beliefs, that can be extremist content. So that's another good reason why you need to understand how algorithms work, how AI works, how it can influence the content. And all of that will then enable you to think more critically about fairness, about privacy, about bias, about freedoms, about data protection, about parental control settings, about things that you can actually control so that way you can continue to have a positive and beneficial experience online. Okay. Evine is wondering, where is Elizabeth getting these examples from chocolate cake to magic? I'm just trying to make the stories relatable. It just happens this way. So let's see, my next slide. So I'm just going to keep us going here. Another reason why it is important to understand the impacts of AI in our daily lives is because AI systems, they can reflect and reinforce societal biases. So this is something that is so key. It is so crucial for you to be aware of bias, to be aware of how things can work so you can question it, so you can push back. We don't know how algorithms make decisions for hiring. Yes, a lot of employers are using AI in hiring. If you have sent in an application recently and you wondered why you didn't even get a phone call and you know that you're a good applicant, it's because sometimes it's not people, it's not humans that are even seeing this. It gets screened out and filtered by AI. And they're just looking for certain keywords, tag words. Again, as I told you about how they aggregate that data and they look for patterns. So they know that if they've hired 10 people in the past that all like kiwi fruit, then they're going to be looking for an 11th person that also has kiwi fruit on their resume. Again, Evine, I know another crazy example, but people will remember what we're talking about because of these crazy examples. I'm sure. It's always in the storytelling. So whether we're talking about hiring, policing, your credit scores, you can have things that happen to you where the bank has made an erroneous decision. They've made a mistake, and it's because of AI. So I think it's really crucial that you understand how AI is working in your daily lives because we do not want to continue to have inequalities and we don't want to trust systems that are not transparent. We do not want to trust systems that are not accountable. We need to know what is happening. So, digital literacy and empowerment, always another favorite of mine. Um, yeah, before we used to talk about media literacy, media and information literacy, that was MIL. Then we talked about digital citizenship, digital literacy, and now we're talking about AI literacy. It's wonderful. I don't know, I think there's one person in the United States, and I don't think I saw anyone from China, but from what I've understood, China is introducing AI curriculums, AI literacy curriculums to their young students. And the United States has been talking about doing the same thing, to introducing AI literacy to second graders, and second graders are about 6 to 7 years old. This is how crucial it is that people understand about AI. And don't think that because it's something that you are just now starting to understand or hear about that you're behind. You're not. Okay, we're going to all figure this out. So whether we're talking chat GPT or facial recognition or even a smart home tech, I wonder, let me ask this question. How many of you have Alexa or an Echo in your home? Just go ahead and let me know. And actually, I'm going to let you tell me because I'm not see. Oh, there we go. I can see my chat. I can see it now. I have Google Assistant. Okay. Oh, I don't have it and never used it. Okay. Nope. Okay. Yeah, I mean it's there. I will admit I do have Alexa. Or do I have Siri? No, I have Alexa. Oh, that's a good one for you to know. You all have Siri on your phones. If you have Apple, that is also an AI, right? So you do have some in your home. You just weren't thinking about it. And the same thing with your Android phones. Every time you say, "Hey Google," you know what's happening there, right? Tried Alexa, but I didn't like her. That's funny, Jonathan. Very funny. You do have Siri, see? Uh-huh. You just don't use it. And there you go. And so when I start talking about it in this way, you understand that AI is around more than you think. It is there. You do have it. So knowing how it works, this is going to build confidence for you. This is going to prepare you. It's going to prepare you. It's going to prepare your children for an AI integrated future because people, I'm telling you, it is coming more and more if it's not already here. And understanding the digital literacy, AI literacy, it helps you distinguish again the hype from reality. It helps you really understand that artificial intelligence, it's not magic. It looks magical. It looks crazy cool and just like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? But it's okay. It's just numbers and tech and wonderful things, and we can figure a lot of it out. Okay. Paula says that she also has Siri, but not a fan. Okay. See, so I'm going to keep going. I'm going to close up the chat and keep going here. So look at this responsible use at home, school, and work. That is another important reason for you to understand AI, because you need to use it responsibly. Because with responsible use, it comes safe use, it comes the sort of well-being use, something that we see a lot of. We're always talking about using technology safely, responsibly, ethically, right? We're able to look at the family routines, look at how we use our smart devices. We're able to look at screen times and even use AI to help us set different screen times. We're able to talk about things at school, to use ChatGPT for brainstorming, but then to also use other types of AI for plagiarism detection. So these are all tools that can work in both ways. Is also for writing and creativity, and I don't even know what else. Actually, I'm going to ask you another question there. How many of you use AI at work? And if you don't know what you're thinking about when I say AI, if you use ChatGPT, if you use Google Gemini, if you use Microsoft Copilot, if your company has any sort of chat bot, yeah, a chat bot is AI. The most likely there's like things where you have a helpline in your company, and those are things that can tell you. So let me see. Microsoft Copilot is given by my company. Yep. ChatGPT mostly. I love it. ChatGPT to summarize meeting notes. That's great. That's great. So you've already able to see. And Daniel, one of the things that I find very interesting with Microsoft Copilot, and I'll say the same thing with Microsoft Copilot and with um, Google, is that if your company is using these tools like a suite of the tools, so for example, if they're using Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, right? They're already giving Microsoft their confidential company information, right? So by using Microsoft Copilot, it's just one step up, even though we get all panicky and thinking, "Ah, we're giving our data to the computers to an algorithm." You already kind of do that. But just, yeah, we have ChatGPT in the school where you teach. Yes. And I love hearing this, Emily, because for me, it is so important that we understand that we can use ChatGPT to teach. We can use AI as teaching tools, as educational tools. So one of the things I really hope to stress to everyone is just not to be afraid of the technology. I know it seems daunting. It seems, just unbelievably impressive, but we will get through all of this. We will find a way. So another reason, and then I'm going to change the topic, this is the last one, why it's important to understand is because of the engagement in civic and ethical conversations. You need to know what is going on because governments and companies, they are adopting AI for so many different things, for public use, for commercial use. We're just seeing it pop up just everywhere. And you need to understand, and especially as citizens in that country, you need to understand, and you need to stay involved in these policy debates about things like surveillance. I don't know how many of you saw that Black Mirror episode about surveillance. I loved that one. I think it was one of the first seasons where, the cameras were watching everything and they would give you points, right? If you did, if you did things right, and take away points if you did not do things so great. And what's true is that there is those systems do exist. I know that in China it exists, and I've heard when I've taught and I had students from China, they told me that it was a really cool system for them. It worked. So again, doesn't matter where you are, you need to just understand what is out there.
Since you on this topic of ethical uses, right? Is there any specific guidelines that you can highlight for us? Because I know there's been a lot of conversations with religious leaders, especially around the ethical use of AI. But also, like, for example, I don't know if you know recently the Kumbh Mela that happened in India.
No,
Um, yeah, it's a major religious gathering, and they use AI for surveillance and security, you know. So it's being used in that space, but what if someone hacked into it, and what if it turned the other way? But also, there's a lot of like videos that go out that is fake, which reproduce people's personalities, with like images. I mean, you get on the politicians, and sometimes you just don't know what is real and not real. And then you're looking at the video and you're like, hey, this can't be real. It looks AI. So what is your thoughts around that?
yes, so I would first say that yeah, that's a really tricky one, and it's really difficult because I think one of the things that we've understood just in law in general, okay, wait for this, Marilyn, is that if you are going out into a public space, you don't have an expectation of privacy because anybody can see you, anybody can take your picture. So it depends on if this gathering is out in public or if it is in a special gathering area. That would be something different. So I think that from a legal standpoint, that if you're out on the street and somebody's taking your picture, you can say, no, stop that. If you're being surveilled, in the UK, they have CCTV everywhere. We've just by going outside, you've given them permission. Sorry, the ring bell. You've given them permission to have your image. I also think that with some of these things, I know the same thing happened at the airport. So, for example, by going to the airport, just by going through the machines and everything else, you have given them permission basically to profile you. If you want to get on that plane, they're taking your image, they're checking you out, and that is the price that you pay. You don't have an expectation of privacy, you've given it up. So I do think that there is that aspect of defense to what they might be doing. That is for the public gathering. But the flip side of that is because it's a religious gathering and there's always supposed to be separation between religion and state. So there might be some arguments there. I mean, you can just see, you can keep going with all of these types of scenarios. But I would also say that if I were hosting an event, the way that I would take care of this is either to let everyone know beforehand that there is surveillance. And so that way, if they don't want to come, they don't have to. Or believe it or not, Marilyn, there are even things like hats that are reflective. I know it sounds crazy, or eyeglasses that reflect back, and so it's like you're almost invisible. I know that we don't want to be that high tech. I think that a lot of this has to do with the trust that we have for our governments to do the right thing and to not take that information and do something nefarious with it. Your other point about using those images and misinformation and some of the deep fakes and things that we see with it. Again, that is something that is, it seems like the more we know about it, the more that criminals are going faster and able to create things that are practically, you can't even tell. And I think that that is always going to be tricky, which is again why that critical thinking about going in and checking the sources. There are websites that you can go and look to actually, verify, is this a real photo? So there are other ways to help, but again, it takes that research. It takes us doing a lot of critical thinking to go further. Okay, I hope that helped. I hoped. Yes, Sydney, I agree. Terminator, we are out there. We are in different times. Okay, so I'm going to get us going a little bit faster so I can get us to uh, some of our quizzes. I know how much you guys, well, at least last time, the people liked the quiz. So AI in our personal and family life. We've already discussed some of this, but just to remind you that we have that you're doing this every day, whether you realize it or not, and that is why you need to understand about how we use it. So we have our smart assistants, as I've mentioned, Alexa, Google Assistant, Google Home. There's AI in our smartphones. We never even think about that as you start typing a text message and you have predictive text that finishes the rest of the phrase for you. That is AI. Something that used to always frighten me as I would tell people this is about, taking pictures of your children, or just, just as you take pictures in general. So let's say you have your iPhone, you take a bunch of pictures of your baby, and then you go and it automatically syncs up onto your computer. And it has that photo organization and it looks at the face and it says, is this you? Is this you? Is this you? I mean, this is all AI at work. So that means it's really, really understanding what's happening. Then streaming suggestions, the more things that you see on Netflix. There was a time when I was looking at Westerns, and then that's all that Netflix would suggest to me was Westerns. And I'm like, please stop. Please show me something else. I don't need to see it anymore. And it's the same thing with your music on Spotify. And again, there's artificial intelligence in toys, in educational apps. It's everywhere for our personal life and our family life. It's there, and you need to be aware of that. AI in schools. I think somebody in the chat had already mentioned AI in their schools, how they're able to use it. And again, I do not think that there should be a problem with using AI, again, if we're using it responsibly, ethically, if the parents are informed beforehand, if there is the same way that we have an acceptable and responsible use policy for using tablets and internet in the classroom, then we need to also include AI in that list. So there are all sorts of wonderful adaptive learning platforms. My favorite is something like Duolingo, where as you keep going, it will go harder and harder for you because it's understanding how you are learning. There's also AI grading tools. As a former law professor, I would have loved to have some AI grading tools to help me out. I remember having classes of 200 students. Can you imagine grading 200 constitutional law exams? Not fun. If I had had a little AI to help me, not necessarily do pass fail, but to help me make it a little bit of an easier task, that would have been wonderful. Chatbot for student support. Yes, this exists. And again, I think this is where we need to tread carefully. We need to really understand what that support is about, because there is a lot of things with chatbots and where teens, especially young people, think that a chatbot can be their therapist and can be their girlfriend or their boyfriend. And this is where we start having other issues and problems. But having student support where it's a chat bot that says, where you're new to a campus and you say, where's the library? And the chat bot then answers and gives you a map. That's something that's student support, which is something different. If a student is saying, I feel very depressed and lonely and sad, I would not want the chat bot to say, oh, you'll be okay. I would hope that it's going to answer with, go to the health center, speak to a nurse, get some support. Tools to detect plagiarism, we've already mentioned those. And now, I don't know if you've seen recently, there have been a lot of kids who've been using Chat GPT to prove that they did not plagiarize, right? So they're using AI to show that that it is original content. It's an amazing world out there, people, an amazing world. We have AI in the workplace. And I think some of you have mentioned this, and I know I mentioned earlier about hiring tools for resume scanning. If there's anybody who has seen some AI in their own workplace, how you used it, if you want to put that in the chat, that would be really interesting for me and for the others. Automated customer service chatbots. I think anytime we call the bank, you're talking to a chatbot, right? It's pretty much common. I don't know about you, but I've also tried things with booking.com or TripAdvisor or travel, and it's just like, oh, there's the chatbot, and it's making things much easier and faster. But we shall see. AI-driven analytics and productivity apps. I will always love a good productivity app. And oh yeah, Sydney says that we have AI to help us follow up with customers. Right. And see, there you go. I mean, and that is so, Sydney, I don't know why your name is sounding familiar. And I'm wondering, as I did the talk last time, were you the one worried about AI going to replace you in customer service? I think so. Yes, I remember, Sydney. I remember. Um, yeah, and just think of it this way. AI can help you. It can help you follow up with the customers, and it cannot replace the human touch. So again, while I understand your concern, and I do think that, it can be true, it can be troublesome. The whole idea is that the more that we know about AI, the more we are able to really imprint our human values upon what we need if we're going to continue with it. Okay. AI in government and public services. Look at this smart city traffic management. Yeah, it's those traffic lights and things like that. Sometimes there's AI that's doing this. The train systems, some of the automatic trains that you're seeing. We've already mentioned predictive policing, healthcare diagnostics. AI is doing some incredible things in helping people get faster results. I know that you can take, for example, you can go and do a blood test. You take it, you get your blood test back, and you're like, oh, I don't know what any of that means. You can now take those results with your leukocytes and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, your neutrophils, your white count, your red count. You can put it into ChatGPT, and while it's not a doctor, it can give you a pretty good idea of what's going on. Public service bots are out there as well. The same thing. We see chat bots everywhere. Okay, and again, I just want you to take a look at this image because I use this one on purpose, this idea of predictive policing. While this is an okay image, right? So you can see they're profiling, they're looking at three people, and it's the one in yellow that matches the yellow on the screen. The problem that you have with a lot of the predictive policing is when it's not good enough and it's not able to profile that well, and it takes the wrong person, and that happens a lot. So I think we're going to have to wait to see when AI gets better. AI in industry. So we've mentioned manufacturing robots. I love the idea of AI in agriculture, drones, soil analysis. These are things that help those creative people in agriculture continue to do some of their hands-on work that is absolutely needed. Logistics and delivery optimization, of course. I mean, we have now drones for everything. I was in New York a few weeks ago and I saw a drone no, I'm sorry, California, and a drone going down the street doing a delivery. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, it's crazy. I don't know where it was going, what it was delivering, but I was like, look at that. I'm living in the future. It's here. It's Star Trek. It's everything that I saw when I was a kid. It's crazy. Energy usage monitoring, all of these things. I mean, AI can make a lot of things easier. And I think that's something that we have to be careful of this convenience. That's something that I tell a lot of parents as well. It's just because it's convenient doesn't mean that that's the right thing or the way that we should be going. I only have a couple more talking about these how we use it. So AI in creative fields, right? Music generation. There's a lot of trouble, right? We're hearing about that, about artists being replaced by music. I don't know if there's any gamers on or anyone with kids. I just read about how Fortnite was using the voice of Darth Vader, who is the actor James Earl Jones, an African American who died recently, who did gift his voice to, I believe, Disney. And the fact now that they're using it in this game as a creative way, it's causing some issues. It's causing some problems because he's saying some things that James Earl Jones, the actor, would never say, nor would Darth Vader say. So there's some problems, right? Script writing, content creation. We know that it's very easy to take ChatGPT and ask it to write you a screenplay. And in fact, even if they say that you cannot get ChatGPT to create a bomb, for example, right? You can still have ChatGPT create a film that has a bomb maker in it and then have that bomb maker create a bomb because it's in the film. So there are all sorts of things that, artificial intelligence is not quite intelligent enough yet. So Sydney, I think you're going to be okay for a little while longer. But the things with virtual influencers, AI models, just there are good uses and there are very, very poor uses. I do know that in video game design, some of the things that AI is doing is absolutely incredible and making some of the gaming experiences seem very, very real, which is exciting, of course, to gamers. And AI and social media. And don't forget, we do this all the time. And for anybody who gets upset thinking about, oh, my face, and every time you're opening your phone, using your face, a Face ID, you've already given up that whole scan of your face. It's already out there. But AI can be useful in content creation and moderation, whether you're in social media, whether you're in online video games. It can help in some of the targeted advertising. There was a time when actually, I still have the Facebook group, the digital parenting community, and I would try to do targeted advertising, letting parents know that I existed. And you can just go and click, the different things, and then the AI will target exactly what you want. So, for example, moms who are 35 to 45 years old who have children that are, 5 to 10. So, I mean, those are some of the good uses. But then for me, the flip side is, did those parents opt in? Do they want to receive that advertising? So do you see how I'm a lawyer and I'm always going back and forth saying you can do this, but you have to be careful of that. You shouldn't do this, but you can do that. Deep fakes, misinformation detection, yeah, it's there, but we need to get stronger at it. We are not as good as we think. Okay, almost there to my quiz. AI in smart homes, thermostats that can learn your habits, right? So they know what you like. And in fact, if you think about it, I don't know, for those of you here in the UK, I use Octopus Energy, and one of the things that it does is that it learns your habits, and so that's why it gives you a set amount that you're going to pay because it's been tracking for a certain amount of time. You also have refrigerators that can track the expiration dates of your food. I think that is so cool. I haven't bought one yet, but I think one day I will because I think that's really, really interesting. It knows, and then it'll tell you, it'll light up and say, drink that milk. It's gonna be spoiled soon. AI-powered security systems. I think you just heard my ring going off, and voice-controlled lighting. Again, something that's very simple, lights up, lights down. We've seen these things. So now to a quiz, people, because I always love my little quizzes. Which of these have you used this week? So I would love it if you put in the chat, um, how many have used a voice assistant this week? You can just put a thumbs up or just put yes in the chat. And we're going to count up how many people are here and how AI savvy, how AI using you are. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I would have thought it was a lot more. Wow, Evine, I'm surprised. I love it when I get surprised. So we've got what, one, two, just two yeses, and the rest are no's. Oh, and Patrick, yes, Sydney, yes, five. Okay. What's the tally? 5 and 5? Yeah, I think so. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So then the next question, well, you know what? I'm gonna help out myself. I'm gonna put yes for me. There. Okay, so then what about how many of you have used a recommended playlist this week? Gotcha. And that's a yes for me too. Thank you, Patricia. Yes. Okay. Oh, look at that. That's where your AI is there, right there, people. Okay. And what about a smart device in your home? Nope. And for me, I've got Alexa, and I'm always using Alexa for my music. Really? Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Nope, except for my mobile. Okay. And then number 4, a chat bot for support. So anytime you called the bank, the train, the I don't know what. Yeah, I know I've used it at my work. Oh, Marilyn, you are good. Marilyn is just like, no AI. Okay, what about auto captioning or translation? Evine's like, yep, translation. Me too. Okay, so I guess I am probably the only one where all five have been yes. Is there anybody else who's with me where you are have all five of those questions you have said yes? Am I the only one? If you want to put in the chat your how many you got, I'm gonna put 5 out of 5 are yes. Yay, Savannah, you're with me. You have all five. Yay. Daniel, you got 4. Okay. Sydney, 3. Sis, I'm surprised. Robert, woohoo! I think, Robert, you and Marilyn are going to be the same. Yep, yep, there we go. See, Marilyn, I was watching you. I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I like this balance. I think that it shows, that we are all in the same place. It's either too much, too little. We're getting there, and we're going to keep supporting each other. Okay, I am going to give us a couple more little talks, then I'm going to open it up. Actually, I might I've only got 10 minutes just because last time I did um, another quiz and it was just so funny. I was going to just see, especially for those of you who were here before, if you had learned anything, but I might save that one for next time. So staying safe and smart with AI. Really quickly, understand how the data is used, check your app permissions and privacy settings. We're going to talk about AI and fairness with other users, be aware of deep fakes and misinformation. And you know what? It's everywhere. So we're going to embrace it wisely. We're going to talk about those benefits and the risk, and you're going to stay curious, informed, and safe. And the most important thing you're going to do is anytime you can help other people, you're going to empower them to do the same. We have 9 minutes left. I would like to know if you are brave enough and want to do another quick yes/no series, very fast. Yeah. Okay. So this is the quiz that we did last month, just to see, because I think there were at least 3 or 4 of you who were here. I'm not gonna out you, Sydney. I know that you were here, but I'm just gonna say, let's go really quickly to see how much you remembered. Okay. Does smart email replies use AI? Yes or no? Boop, 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 boop. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yay, Sid. Okay, Sydney, we're in good shape. We're in good shape. Does a flash drive use AI? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Sydney, I'm looking at you. Sydney, I think you got this wrong last time. Oh, yay, Sydney. Woohoo! Does Instagram face filters use AI? Yes or no? Hurry, 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 hurry. Yep, 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 yep. Oh, everybody's learning. Yay. This is why Duolingo and everything they do this repetition, because when you keep on doing it, then you see that you've learned. Does a grocery store barcode scanner use AI? No, 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 no. Love it. Yay. We're in good shape, people. We're in good shape. Duolingo, does the app use AI? I think I mentioned that one a few times. If you'd gotten that wrong, that I would have said you were not listening to me. You were cooking. Facial recognition to unlock your phone. I think I gave that one away. So we know that one's a yes. Yes. Does a QR code scanner use AI? Hmm. Hmm. Nope. 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 Awesome. If I could give you all a certificate in AI, I would. Netflix recommendations use AI? Yep, they sure do. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, basic calculator? Nope. Thank you. Oh, everybody's gotten it. You've nailed it. This is awesome. Okay, one more, 2 more, I think. Voice assistants like Siri? Gave this one away several times. Yep, perfect. Google Maps, traffic updates use AI. Ooh, I didn't mention that one today. And yep, exactly. 100%. People, this is great. Does autocorrect on your phone use AI? I've used this example as well. No excuses. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. Typing on a mechanical keyboard? No. No, no. Evine, we have educated a new generation. This is great. Great. I love it. Amazon product suggestions? I would think so. And I know, actually, Sydney, I can't remember if there's anybody else who was here. But Sydney, can you tell me, does it seem much easier this time? It seems like, because it just seems like everybody's getting, oh, good. That makes me really happy. And then our last one, does online CAPTCHA test use AI? Don't get it wrong. Don't get it wrong. Come on, this is the last one. Yes or no? No. Yay, thank you. Woohoo. Okay. Awesome, people. Awesome. Thank you so much for having fun with us. Are there any questions? Anything else? I usually try to make sure that you ask questions as we go along, so that way you can ask me as you remember them. Um, but if you have anything else or anything else that you want to say, that would be great. If not, I will pass over to Evine. Oh, I see something coming up in the chat. Hang on. Do. Should we go all in on AI? I think Marilyn's going to say no. And I'm going to say no as well. We shouldn't go all in. I think we should do things with balance, with responsibility, ethically, morally, and just we should take our time. We should go slowly.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for another very insightful session, and thanks for all the participants for sharing questions and for engaging. I think it's very important and makes the session a lot more fun. I hope that everybody enjoyed, and we really hope to see you again.